On Get Up, you went to sleep with the news that Odell Beckham had been traded to Cleveland. You wake up to the news that Le'Veon Bell has signed with the Jets. Let's go backwards. He sat out all of last year after refusing to sign the franchise tag, joining Dan Williams in 1998 and Sean Gilbert in 97 as the only players to sit out a season after being tagged. When he's played, he's been ridiculously good. From 2013 to 17, he averaged over 86 yards a game on the ground, second most in the league. Only Zeke Elliott averaged more over that span. His numbers are off the charts everywhere, and he'll certainly be an upgrade where he goes. The Jets averaged just under 4 yards a rush last year. That was ranked fourth worst in the National Football League. I want to bring my friend Marcus Spears, the big swagoo, into the conversation. On that note, we will get to your LSU friends in a moment here, but let's start with this. What is your reaction to Le'Veon Bell on the Jets? What do you think it means?
I think the first thing it means is Le'Veon got his money and he's happy, and obviously he went after the money. Look, he makes the Jets immediately better, and people are talking about, well, what do you mean? The way he opens up this offense, the way he's explosive. And remember, before Saquon Barkley last year, this was the most productive running back in the NFL in passing yards and rushing yards. So Le'Veon Bell changes the dynamic of what you can do offensively. And he also, as a defensive guy, he also helps you on defense, because you know what he does as well as anybody, G? He extends drives. He keeps fat guys like myself on the sideline so we can catch our breath and be ready to go back out.
And let's talk about what the fat guys like you on that side of the ball also have to spend all week worrying about. What is it like game planning for and being on the field against a running back like that?
Well, I can tell you what it's like because I've experienced it. When I was with the Baltimore Ravens, we played Le'Veon Bell, and his running style is as difficult to figure out throughout the course of a game. You love keys as defensive linemen. You love to know what the back has a tendency of doing. Le'Veon Bell is the most patient, wait and see running back that I've faced in my whole 9-year career. And he's so tough to get to the ground. It's just so confusing the way he buys time in the backfield and then explodes like he shot out of a cannon out of the backfield. It's unbelievable. It's uncanny, actually. When you're on the field, it looks like he's running in mud and then he's gone.
What does he do for the quarterback? Obviously a second-year guy in Darnold who showed a lot of promises, a lot of flashes. What does he do for the quarterback?
Well, Greeny, you have kids, I have kids. You ever heard of a blankie? That's what he is. He's a blankie for Sam Darnold. He's for a young quarterback to have such a dynamic back that he can throw a check down to, and it turns into a gain of 20, or it turns into a touchdown, or it turns into just a first down pickup. We always talk about it, and Dan O is in there right now. You could talk about a quarterback staying on schedule. Le'Veon Bell creates the ability for you to stay on schedule within an offensive drive and gives you an opportunity for an explosive play when you only made a 5-yard dump down pass. Those type of guys are game changers for guys like Sam Darnold, who hadn't had the ability at wide receiver
hours earlier, and that was the Giants trading Odell Beckham Jr. to Cleveland. They get in return a first, a third, and Jabril Field, but to reunite him with his closest friend and former LSU teammate, Jarvis Landry. Now, I look at you, Marcus, and I know that the LSU pride is just oozing out of your every pore. There are those two guys together, an old picture that you put up there, and you see they've known each other literally that long, and now they are united as maybe the most dynamic receiving duo in the National Football League as we speak. What do we say of the Cleveland Browns as of right this moment, Marcus? What are they?
From an offensive perspective, contenders. Look, we just saw what Andy Reid did in Kansas City, and Pat Mahomes changed that whole thing. Everybody's in on Baker Mayfield. And look, for everybody that's asking the question of how is Baker Mayfield and Freddie Kitchens going to keep these two guys happy, Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham want to see each other have success just as much as their own personal success. And then you talk about Njoku at tight end. So Baker Mayfield right now is coming into the season saying to himself, I need to be a distributor. I need to be a point guard. I don't need to lock in to one guy and throw him the ball to try to get us wins. I need to be a distributor to all of these weapons that I have. And oh, by the way, Nick Chubb in the backfield, Kareem Hunt in the backfield. But let's go a bit further, G. Cleveland went through two great wide receivers at certain junctures in their careers to get to this point. So John Dorsey has been on a mission to get Odell Beckham. He ended up with the most dynamic receiver in the NFL. He brought Josh Gordon back. They brought Dez Bryant in to see if that synergy will work and to try to woo him with the Cleveland Browns. And you end up with Odell Beckham Jr. paired with Jarvis Landry, two number ones, two prolific guys in the NFL. I'm ecstatic about it. And the only thing that I'm pissed off about is I have to be a slight Cleveland Browns fan.
And so, I'll make you more than a slight Cleveland Browns fan, because you sort of quantified it. You said offensively they're a contender. Vegas says they're all of a sudden one of the best teams in the NFL. Are the Cleveland Browns a legit Super Bowl contender right this minute?
Yes, they are. And you look at what the defense was able to do last year. This is a really good defense headlined by Myles Garrett, who's going to be a superstar in this league. But beyond all of that, Greeny, we look at, you and I had a conversation about a month and a half ago. In the NFL, you cannot buy Super Bowls. It just doesn't happen. We've seen Bill Belichick win with guys that were on minimum wage when you talk about the NFL with high production. But now you look at Cleveland, you look at the youth, you look at the ability to get the ball downfield with Baker Mayfield, and more than anything, you look at changing the narrative about the Cleveland Browns, right? They are the go-to spot now. Monday night will be there with Monday Night Football. Thursday Night Football will be there. Sunday Night Football will be there. They are layered with superstars who want to win. Let's not get it misconstrued. The Giants obviously didn't like the relationship between Odell Beckham and themselves, but one thing you cannot question about Odell Beckham Jr., he wants to win every football game he plays in. Jarvis Landry has the same type of mentality when he's out there on the football field. Baker Mayfield has proven over time to be a winner, and we want to see him take that next step and become one of those elite quarterbacks. It's a hell of a combination they got right now in Cleveland, man, with the right mentality to play.
Remarkable. Marcus, so well done. Thank you, my friend, for jumping in here. Let me bring it to the table here. It's incredible to me that we're talking about a team that was 0-16 a year ago, and now here they are, a legit Super Bowl contender. And I'll bring Jalen in here because in your sport, they've been putting together super teams for a long time. All of a sudden, that might be sort of the vogue, right? The Rams, they went for it last year. They brought in all these guys. Now the Browns, maybe the NFL is taking a little bit of a page out of the NBA's book.
Well, what the fascination is when your quarterback is on a rookie deal and you feel like your quarterback can really get it done, that's the time to go all in. It's a salary cap driven sport. And history has shown me as a Lions fan, I love Calvin Johnson. I love Larry Fitzgerald. But when those two teams committed big dollars to those players at wide receiver, they were not able to build out the rest of their roster. The same for teams that have high salary quarterbacks. One of the Patriots are an outlier because Tom Brady takes a discounted salary, so they can still build their roster. Now the Browns are able to do that because Baker Mayfield showed them that he has the goods.
Well, and Marcus kind of mentioned like you can't buy Super Bowls or championships in the NFL. The difference with the Browns in this situation compared to so many other teams that have tried to do it is John Dorsey. Like, you don't have to worry about being a bad drafter. Look at what he did last year. Baker Mayfield won. Everyone criticized it. Denzel Ward at 4. Everyone was like, wait, you took Denzel Ward? He looks to be a premier corner. Callaway got in like the 5th round out of Florida. And so it's not necessarily buying stuff. It's like you've got a general manager that's proven. Again, he built the Chiefs in large part to what they sit or where they sit nowadays. So there's nothing to be concerned about. And to your point, Jay, like they've got the quarterback. They've got the cap space to do it. Now that's what they're all in. It's go time like the Rams were last year.
Dorsey has generally managed his way into the Hall of Fame if this thing works. What's the reaction around the league quickly on what Cleveland has done?
Yeah, people are amazed and impressed. Jalen's right. You have to have a quarterback on his rookie deal to pull off this super team idea. But they also have Myles Garrett on a rookie deal, Denzel Ward on a rookie deal, star-level players on that side of the ball. I think people are excited to see how it all comes together under a first-time head coach.
That's the question. Can he manage it all?
And that will be Freddie Kitchens. I mean, if it goes badly, we'll see what winds up happening. But they've got so many players there. Take me to the mentality now of the superstar. Odell Beckham is almost like an NBA-level superstar playing in the National Football League. And now he goes to a new place with something to prove. What do you make of the mentality?
Odell Beckham's situation is a perfect example of how a guy who showed terrific promise as a football player, was also able to take advantage of the market in New York City and elevate himself into somebody that endorsed products with the best of them in the NFL. But the Giants were not winning. Now all of a sudden you transfer that exact same celebrity to Cleveland and they're a Super Bowl contending team. It continues to show winning is going to always trump your market. And so many times people think playing in a large market is what's going to elevate a player. But actually winning is always the thing that catapults your brand.
And he's been hanging around a lot with LeBron James, and we've seen him on the TV show and everything else. And it feels like there has been some mentorship there, right? It feels like there is a relationship there that is significant.
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the fact that he's playing with Jarvis Landry, and receivers can be divas. These guys are best friends. So now all of a sudden, the quarterback doesn't have to deal with the headache of trying to force feed one of these guys the ball.
And they're incredible workers.
Yes.
You know, your best players, Odell, Landry, and Baker, are your best workers. Now everybody in your organization falls in line for the next decade. Like for the next decade with this crew.
It is hard to, again, I just can't say it enough times. This is a franchise that was the worst in sports, and it wasn't even close. All of a sudden, they feel like a legit Super Bowl contender in 12 months. Coming up next, there's a big day in sports coming up today as well. About 10 minutes ago, Kyler Murray arrived at the facility for Oklahoma's Pro Day. He'll be out there in front of all the scouts today. He'll be throwing the football and more. Does he make himself the number one pick in the draft?
I got to get him some longer shorts.